What's up, guys? I'm Maui Goomba, the coach of the Binghamton Torracats, bringing you the Hoenn Draft League Season 2 Draft Analysis. As you guys know, I'm known for Pokemon content. That's pretty much what this channel is, under the guise of the New York Yankees. Well, I've rebranded. Actually, in Season 1 of the Hoenn Draft League, I was the New York Rangers. Didn't run a rain team. Probably should have. That's not the point. The point is, we're going under the guise of the Binghamton Torracats from now on. If I get to return to the LET, I will be rebranding as the Binghamton Torracats. So without further ado, let's get into the rules set a little bit. Starting off, it's a like I said, national dex. It's gonna be run on the sports server on Showdown. DLC 2 moves are allowed and cut moves are allowed. So there's pretty much nothing isn't allowed as long as it's legal for movesets. Following up, we're not allowing Dynamax or Gigantamax. It's just, I'm personally not a huge fan of it. We held a vote before the beginning of the season. It lost. It was like a 4-8 vote or something like that. There was mostly no one in favor of it. Also, I completely forgot to add it onto the sheet, or the slides, but there's no Z moves. We also held a vote on that. Most of the rule set and stuff did have votes held on it. I wanted to make sure everyone, it was a majority rules type thing. We're running a democracy in the HDL. Who knew? Following up, this is going to be a big block. The draft style is snake drafting. Basically 1 through 12 pick, then 12 through 1, and then it goes through that until 11 Pokemon have been drafted per team. We have the endless battle. We have standard clauses. Endless battle clause, meaning Wobbuffet can't just get thrown out onto something that it can't KO. Oko clause, no guillotine or horn drill or anything like that. Evasion clause, any move that guarantee raises your evasion or lowers your opponent's accuracy is banned. Guaranteed though, Muddy Water is allowed. Stuff if it's not 100%, Leaf Storm, not Leaf Storm, Leaf Tornado or Muddy Water, those are allowed, but if it's guaranteed to, it's not. Sleep clause, only one Pokemon can be put to sleep at a time unless it's via your rest. That they didn't put it to sleep, it doesn't count. Fear clause, which is just anything that has a focus sash, endeavors, and quick attacks. We're actually allowing Moody for the season. It was voted, it was allowed. They removed evasion raising for Moody, so I don't see why not. It doesn't seem as insanely broken. Arena Trap is banned. That wasn't held a vote, I just had it banned. I'm not too sure about banning it for Season 3, but for Season 2 it is banned. Same with Shadow Tag, Gothitelle. We'll see about those two things in Season 3. Maybe I'll allow them. Landorus Eye is not allowed to run Sheer Force, Sand Force only, and that's going to be the way it's a B tier Pokemon like that. I'm not even putting it anywhere close, but that's where Landorus Eye is. Greninja can't run Protein, Blaziken can't run Speed Boost. We did vote on Cinderace getting Libero, and it went through, so Cinderace can use Libero. Without further ado, I'll explain the more of the draft. You have to draft 11 Pokemon. You get an A, B, C, D, and E tier for free. And then you get a Mega also. The Mega can give you bonus points. Your points go towards drafting free Pokemon. Free is a really weird term for it because they're not really free. But each one costs a set of points. We have an S tier. S tiers are 200. A tiers, extra A tiers cost 180. Extra B costs 120. Extra C costs 100. Extra D costs 60. And extra E costs 40. You can get up to 60 points depending on the Mega tier you draft. If you draft the lowest tier, it gets 60. 40 for the next highest. 20 for the next highest. And then 0 for an A tier Mega, which is what most Megas are under. We ended up having quite a few different Megas. I will be going over a power ranking thing for the draft once Week 0 trades have all been finished and completed. That'll come out sometime next week, I hope. So without further ado, let's get into my draft. We had the 3rd pick overall, which is nearly wheel, and I really like having this pick. It let me get something I really like. So first pick, Tapu Lele went very early. It was the first pick of the entire draft. Second pick, Naganadel went, also an S tier. So third pick, what do I want? What is the best thing to grab here? Probably Urshifu Single Strike. This thing just presses Wicked Blow and will nuke almost anything. Almost nothing wants to come in on Urshifu. Its coverage is insane. It gets Poison Jab for the Fairy types, or Iron Head. It gets Bulk Up. It doesn't have to just be a Band or Scarf user. Like, it gets Bulk Up. I could set up on someone if I really want to. But, like, Stab, just broken Sucker Punch that goes through Protect. I mean, well, Protect can't use it. That was kind of a dumb thing. But you can't Protect against Wicked Blow. Like, it just does not happen. You can't stall this thing out. Almost nothing switches into it. It's ridiculous. And I'm really glad I was third pick, because I don't get this if I'm not third pick, I don't think. I was really worried about not getting it anyway. What is it? 9 picks happen, going down. Then another 9 come back to me. And what do we grab? This Pokemon's an A tier. It might be a little high tier for where it should, like, it deserves. But I'm the one that makes the tiers for this. I modified it with some suggestions, so it's not just me, but I wanted a Regenerator Core to complement Urshifu. Like, I can switch, and there's probably not a better Regenerator Pokemon. Like, Tornadus T is up there, but it's not Tornadus T. We grabbed Slowbro. It gets Teleport, so it's a good pivoter. It gets Future Sight, which can catch some people off guard. Like, they could forget about it, but also it's a pretty strong Psychic-type move. I've used Slowbro several times in the past. This is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon to use in draft format. I actually did draft my favorite one, too, which we'll get into that later. So, 2 more picks happen in round 2. Then round 3 happens. 2 more picks. It comes back to me. I said I want a Regenerator Core. There's probably not a better Pokemon to pair with Slowbro. Let's be real here. We grab Amoonguss. You have to grab the shiny Amoonguss. Kind of looks like a ball that's been suffering poison from Amoonguss. I don't know. It pairs super well with Slowbro. It's a C tier, which means I still have a B tier accessible. I'm really excited to get to use this core because I could have drafted it in Season 1 of the HDL, which I know I don't have anything for that. I'll get a bit more in detail into Season 1. I just didn't record it. But I will be recording all of Season 2. Amoonguss, Spore, Grounded Poison. I believe it gets Aromatherapy, so it's a decent Cleric. It gets Clear Smog, so nothing can set up on it. I don't think I've ever actually used Amoonguss in draft format, so this will be nice to use. I really like it. So it goes back down, back to me. I wanted a ground type. I wanted a flying type. I think at this point Landorus I had gone, and I wasn't really and Gigalith had too, which was going to be the Sand Setter if I went for like a mini Sand team. Which I kind of did in the LAT. It's not going well, but that's beside the point. So I'm thinking I've used this thing before. I drafted a lot of stuff I've used, or like Pokemons I've used before. We'll see how that works out. I've used them fairly well in my opinion. So we grab Gliscor. Poison Heal is a fantastic ability. It gets Defog. It's very bulky. And I was kind of going for bulk. Ice type is Demolish It, but Slowbro can wall pretty much any ice type. Barring Weavile, but nobody drafted Weavile, so that's really good for me. As far as recording this, we have one more person to finish the draft, so. But I really like Gliscor. I might not have used it to its full potential. Obviously, it gets Sandveil, but Sandveil's banned, so I'm pretty much stuck with Poison Heal, but that's not, like, that's saying stuck, but it's not really stuck. I still have a lot of slow Pokemon, and I do end up patching up my speed tiers a little bit. It's not the greatest, I'll be honest. At least I have Trick Room Slowbro. So, next Pokemon I grab is my Mega Pokemon, and at this point, I know what Steel type I'm gonna get. It's gonna be a lower tier Steel type, and I'm having trouble figuring out, like, what Fairy and Dragon I want. Originally, the plan was to grab Mega Charizard X, because it's a Dragon type, obviously, and it's insane. But at this point, my only real special attacker with any special attack worth a damn is Slowbro. So I grabbed Mega Altaria. I have used this before, but it's mixed. It's very mixed. 80 base speed isn't anything like exciting, but it can set up. It's mixed. It gets pixelate. Like stab, return, or not retaliate. Frustration are some of the best things I could ask for. I've used it before, but I don't think that league finished, so I'm excited to finish up a league with this, see where I land in playoffs. Assuming I make playoffs, but pretty excited to get into playoffs, but I'm excited to play in general. So with my next pick, I believe I grabbed my Steel type? No, okay. I wanted Chandelure. Like, I needed a Ghost type, I needed a good special hitter, and I really wanted Chandelure, but I did get Snipe. That was probably the biggest snipe of the draft for me. It was the only one up to this point. I did get sniped later on, but that was the only snipe in the draft at this point. I used Darmanitan again last season, so I'm pairing it back up with Slowbro for back-to-back seasons. Darmanitan is such a good revenge chiller, and I feel like I didn't do it justice last season, even with, like, I think it had 8 KOs or something in, like, 5 uses. So I'm hoping to do more justice for Son Goku. Naruto reference. I'm really excited to get to use it again and maybe bring it more than 5 weeks. It's a 10-week season, so it might be 5 weeks again. I'm not sure. It's a C tier, actually, by the way. And obviously, we get 2 C tiers. Next up, I want to say I grabbed the Steel type. I don't remember the draft order, and I'm not looking at it. Yes, okay, we grabbed Berserker. Steely Spirit makes it so his stab is 2.25 times instead of just 1.5. So Banded Ironhead just destroys something. It's not fast. And at this point, I was kind of, like, I did draft some speed, but I was like, I could run Trick Room Slowbro if I really need to. Like, my team doesn't need to be the fastest. I have a premier, like, I wouldn't say premier, but a really good Trick Room setter. And Berserker just, it was E tier. I put it in E tier. I don't know how I put it in E tier. Like, that's 40 points for 2.25x stab. Like, it only does one thing, and I kind of have a team of... Urshifu and Darmanitan are both kind of, like, similar Pokemon. There's no item clause, so we can have as many items as we want. And, like, I have 3 Pokemon that kind of do the same thing, but they all do them in different ways, and they all do them exceptionally well. I'm excited to use this team, very much so. Next pick, I wanted to get Licky Licky because I wanted a really good Wish Setter, or, like, Wish Passer and Bulky. And Licky Licky, I've seen used, and it really sounded like a fun Pokemon to use. But it got sniped. Oh! Never mind. We'll get into that after. This was my next pick before I wanted Licky Licky. I've drafted this thing in over 90% of the draft leagues I've been in. I think the LET is one of the few exceptions where I didn't draft it. I almost traded for it recently too. It's my this is my favorite draft Pokemon to use. There's nothing that comes close. It's a C tier, 109 base speed, so much coverage. Stab Hyper Voice is something I really want. I hate people getting behind subs, so stab Hyper Voice and just KO it, hopefully. So I'm excited to use it again for like the millionth time, it feels like. When I drafted it, everyone was like, of course, Goomba does that. Anyway, so now we get into the next, this was going down it, so the next 2 picks were the person who drafted Naganadel and then the person who drafted Lele. The person who drafted Lele sniped me on Licky Licky. I ended up sniping them on this pick, though. I wanted a Ghost type still at this point, and I was planning on getting it. I think it's 110 base speed. I needed something in that speed bracket. It's Frostlass. Pretty good Spike Setter. Average attack, but it's my spin blocker. Also, I do not draft Rapid Spin here, which might come back to bite me in the ass, but I'm not looking to set hazards too much. And my team's not majorly affected by hazards, so I'm not too worried about it. Also, Frostlass gets Curse Body and Snowy Cloak, but Snowy Cloak is banned. Next up, I clicked that a little too early, but we get the Wish Passer in Xatu. And a Magic Bouncer. I feel like this was also E tier, and I think this was also underrated. Xatu is an excellent Pokemon for E tier too. Like, I think it needs to be D in Season 3, but Xatu I'm really excited to use as well. I mean, I'm excited to use everything. Well, even then I still am. But Xatu is interesting. I'm pretty sold on most of the team, but if I did make a change, it might be Xatu, because I have 3 flying types before Altaria Mega Evolves, which Gliscor is not. Both Gliscor and Xatu, they both care about rocks and they're like, but I think I'm fine. I think Xatu gets defogged too, so I have another defogger. And last pick of the draft for me, it's another 100 speed tier, because at this point I only have 2 and my speed tiers are still kind of fucked. It's another rock setter, because at this point I should only have Gliscor as my rock setter. We grab Miltank. This was a D tier. This was probably properly rated. Milk Drink, Stealth Rock, Fast Speed, Sap Sipper, Scrappy, and Thick Fat. Excellent abilities for D tier. I've seen this used many times, and it's honestly a beast. Like, I can't praise this thing enough for what it does. And I think we're gonna win it all this season, folks. Like, I'm gonna be honest. There are some tough drafts out there, but I think the Binghamton Torracats are gonna win it this year. We came so close last year, which I'll get into that a little bit. I might actually post the finals from season 1 if you guys want. And then I made team layouts for the power ranking, so I'll show off ours right now. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, and the power ranking should be coming out next week. Next week we'll also begin the season, so the battle against the Binghamton Wanderers should be soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.